Winnipeg Pro Wrestling has one last stop before the battle in the Burt. That's coming up. But tonight, we're talking nuclear heat here on Ring Respect Radio. And boom, just like that, it's Thursday night, and you know what that means. It's party time with us. We're the Video Bros. I'm Bobby Munson, joined by one of the Cat Munsons, and to the side of me, you know him. He's the man with the angelic voice. He's Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes, happy Halloween Eve. How are you doing, brother?
Well, it's getting spooky time of year, Munson. It's cold outside. The leaves are all falling, and it's getting very scary towards Halloween here. We've had a little bit of a scary weekend this past weekend in Saskatoon. We have some real good wrestling talk for you on Ring Respect Radio over the next hour.
We certainly do. Our big topic tonight is going to be Winnipeg Pro Wrestling. We'll get to them soon, but we'll also be talking a little bit about our experience over the weekend here, I'm sure. But speaking of spooky, I mean, it's candy season, obviously, and apparently it's National Candy Corn Day. I mean, this has got to be a conflicting thing. I got to know from the chat as well, too. Do you like candy corn? Do you like it, Papa Smokes? I'm not really a candy fan to begin with that much, and candy corn would be one of my least favorites on that list.
Yeah, well, I don't eat much candy myself, Munson, and I've read this debate online about candy corn. Very polarizing candy. It seems a lot of people love it, but a lot more people hate it. I don't hate it. I know it's gross, the stuff that it's made of, but I don't mind eating a couple chunks of it.
Fair enough assessment. We're saying hello to Basser joining us in the chat. Good evening to you as well, too, Basser. And we're also saying hello to our good friend Astrid Bizarro joining us in the chat. Stay tuned. Astrid and I will get around very soon to doing a trailer breakdown from the new Scream 7 trailer that came out here today. We're going to be breaking that down for you very soon here on the channel. And it's the Mangler, our good friend, the Mangler, joining us. What's up, gentlemen? I'm a shameful fan of candy corn. I say you don't have to, it doesn't have to be a shameful thing. I mean, just because some of us aren't fans, I mean, it's just the way it is. Some people are fans of one thing, not fans of another. It's all good. It's all good. Whatever your jam is, it's all good here on Ring Respect Radio and amongst many of friends of Ring Respect Radio.
Bring candy corn out of the closet. There should be no shame. It's the same as many treats. It's kind of a oil and butter mixed with a whole bunch of sugar and a whole bunch of colors to make it look nice. That's what candy is.
Why not? Yeah, it's part of the festive season. Bring it on out. Enjoy it if you love it. And enjoy Halloween, but be safe this Halloween, as always. I know a lot of people with the opportunity to party on a Friday night with Halloween. There's going to be a lot of people out, a lot of costume parties going on. Make sure you're not only being safe, drinking responsibly out there. And yes, please do drink responsibly all the time, but do that as well tomorrow. And watch out for the little ones. The little ones are going to be out in the streets, so be careful with your driving. Don't be a jackass out there. Make sure that you're being good to all across the globe this Halloween season. Bob Smokes, any big Halloween plans for yourself this season?
Well, my big Halloween weekend, Munson, was this past weekend with PPW's Ring of Horrors Part 4. We had a massive weekend there. Now, I'm not doing much on the weekend. I might watch a little music, little live music in the clubs, but that's about it, Munson. I'll let the kids take this one. They get excited. They get dressed up. If there isn't a blizzard between now and tomorrow, maybe they can wear their costumes without the parka and the snowsuit on over top. That's always a nice treat, but temperature's starting to plunge here, Munson, as it always does at the end of October.
They certainly are. And I'm going to give you a little peek into my Friday evening for Halloween there. As you can see, a bottle of Hypnotic there before me. That's not the only bottle I've got. That's the one I'm going to show. Anyway, so what it is the wife and I, Mrs. Munson and I, are going to be spending a night watching horror movies. One of the movies that we're going to be watching was one of the ones I recommended in the shorts. Not a lot of people have caught on to it, or it's just one of those ones where you got to really enjoy, like a kind of B movie horror with a musical blended in it. It's called Repo the Genetic Opera. It's a very different type of movie, very interesting type of movie, but one that I've grown to love. And inside of it, they do a lot of surgeries on people in this movie, and they have this drug that you get called Zydrate. And Zydrate is kind of like in a glass vial, and it's blue in color. And I found a recipe online for a Zydrate shot that is a mix of Hypnotic, rum, and a blue cacao. So those three mixed together create the color of the Zydrate shot from Repo the Genetic Opera. So tomorrow night, wifey and I are going to be sitting around watching that movie, having ourselves some good old Zydrate shots, and having a little food, handing out candy to the kiddos. That's our plan for the Friday night.
Once you have enough of those blue shots, you and the wife might get repoed yourself there. You better. That sounds like a nice evening in, though. That's the way I'd rather spend Halloween, is watching some cheesy horror movies, eating cheesies, and staying in.
It's going to be a good night. I'm looking forward to it. But, speaking of cheesy things, Pop Smokes, we guys got done being part of the costume battle royal from Prairie Pro Wrestling. Just want to let everybody know that our good friends Ed Whalen and Jesse Bonaventura filled in for us on commentary. That is all ready to go, and that is going to be coming out on the Prairie Pro Wrestling YouTube channel tomorrow on Halloween for everybody. A little treat ahead of schedule. But yes, the costume battle royal dropping tomorrow on Prairie Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel. Glad that we're able to share that with everybody, Papa Smokes. And it came from a memorable night. A very, very memorable night once again for Prairie Pro Wrestling. First of all, thank you to the nation who came out in numbers to sell out the Ring of Horrors 4. But then, Papa Smokes, we're not going to go on about every match here. I just want to talk about that cage match, that memorable-ass cage match of epic proportions. Anything and everything happened in this thing. So PPW decided ahead of time, there is no escape in a cage match in Prairie Pro Wrestling. The only way to win is by pinfall or submission. And good God, did these two go to the limits. This was a bloody, violent, absolute car crash of a fight between two guys who absolutely hate each other. The damn cage busted open. There was barbed wire. There was tacks. There was chairs. There was tables. There was ladders. You name it. It was utilized in this fight. This absolute disturbing to watch, but also classic fight between these two guys. It is going to go down as maybe one of the biggest rivalries in pro wrestling history in Western Canada, but definitely will go down as one of the biggest matches in Prairie Pro Wrestling history.
Very much so. And you said the word rivalry. This has been a rivalry and a hatred that's been brewing between two wrestlers for well over a decade, and that's Michael Allen, Richard Clark, the PPW champion, and El Assassino, head badass of PPW. And we've seen tilts between these two in the past. We've seen sneak attacks. We've seen all kinds of things. They just plain don't like each other. And it was kind of set out before this match that whatever happens in the cage match at Ring of Horrors, it's going to be the end. They were going to bury this feud after this match. So naturally, both wrestlers pulled out all stops. And boy, that's the understatement of the year. They went to extreme lengths to get that pinfall, to get that win, not only with the PPW championship at stake, but the entire history between these two rivals. And this was going to be the tombstone for the feud right here. And it really, really was. After all the carnage and after all the smashing of bodies and after all the bloodshed, one man stood tall and the feud was finished for good.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, we were both up close and personal with this thing, Pop Smokes. Like, you were inches away from that damn cage panel that broke right open there. That camera shot is absolutely delightful, by the way, because the editing is all done on it. It looks phenomenal. But myself sitting right down there, I'm at that table that's down at ringside there with JG Muller and Crash Crimson. And we're sitting there going like, there's no way these two idiots are going to come off the side of this cage. Like, this can't be a possibility. I turned to Crash. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. I think somebody's going off the damn cage. We better get out of here. And he goes, no, we're good. We're good. And then all of a sudden, bang, and El Asesino's body comes from the top of the damn cage right through that table in front of me. And I'm thinking to myself, holy shit, oh my God, what is going on here? And then I started pondering there for a second, Papa Smokes. Crimson Conspiracy comes into play once again. He heard me on this show. He heard what I said, and he intentionally kept me there at that table, knowing that was a damn possibility, putting my life at risk during this matchup. I believe that Crash Crimson is up to no good, and I will not stop until the truth be told.
Munson, you're so paranoid. You got to start wearing a tinfoil hat, man. Not everyone's out to get you. Those guys don't know you exist, Munson. I think you're dreaming all this up in your mind. Having said that, you finally are spending some time on my side of the ring where I do the camera work. You see how hazardous it is. There's not a lot of room to escape any of the action if it spills out of the ring. Finally, you're getting a taste of that. You got a taste of it the show before. The nice super kick to the face, that was quite hilarious. But this time you almost got it real bad because those guys weren't messing around. And if you can't see that they were pulling out all the stops to get the win in this, man, that fall off the cage was just absolutely tumultuous and climactic. And yeah, it's hell over on that side of the ring, Munson. Welcome to what I deal with every show.
It's a very dangerous spot indeed, Papa Smokes, and I applaud you for going in there and doing what you do. The camera angles all look beautiful between yourself and Warren there on the cameras. Got some amazing shots there. The Ring of Horrors is fully edited. It looks incredible. I have shown that cage match to a couple of people already, and great feedback, including from the guys who participated in it as well too. So y'all got to wait a little while. That's the thing. It's like it's going to come out in order. And unfortunately, that order is a ways away for those of you who aren't there. But I might have got an edited copy of the full show over to our friends Ed and Astrid for a potential taking over review of the Ring of Horrors 4.
That's a heck of an idea because we know that Ed and Astrid both have some peripheral interest in PPW. I know Ed watches a little bit. It'd be really fun to get that outside perspective on professional wrestling up in Saskatoon. I'd love to hear what they have to say about it. I'll be listening to that one for sure.
You bet. And I was asked to be available to kind of help out, seeing as there's no commentary, but at least help out in terms of some of our builds, some of our stories and everything like that kind of thing, to answer any of those types of questions along the way. So happy to do it. Hopefully that'll, I'm not sure when that'll be coming about, but I'm happy to get their feedback. I really want to hear from them about what they thought of Ring of Horrors, our biggest show of the year. But either way, a big thank you to everybody who paid for a ticket, came to the Ring of Horrors, bought drinks, bought merch, did all that. You continue to make what we do worth what we do every single time. Somebody at the door even said to me, Papa Smokes, he said, looked at me, and he goes, "Thank you for everything you do." And I turned around and I said, "No, sir. Thank you for everything you do." Because without you and everybody else who stood out in that damn lineup, it didn't matter what the temperature was there in Saskatoon that night, waited for their opportunity to come through those doors. Those people make the difference. Those people make it so we can do what we do. Those people make it so that we can afford the damn cage to put two of the best in indie wrestling in Western Canada inside of one of the best matches that's ever taken place.
Well said, Munson. And the PPW is only as strong as the PPW nation. And boy, they showed their strength on Saturday night, showing up in droves, standing outside in line to get inside to their assigned seating, taken care of beautifully by Bobby Munson. And man, I got nothing but good feedback too. I talked to people at the intermission, outside afterwards, in the bar afterwards. We were all talking about it, the big event of the year. It was just a glorious, dreamy night for Papa Smokes. I feel like we're the stars of professional wrestling in this city. the great performers that give us the shows that we love and the great fans that support.
Yeah, you bet. And again, a lot of first timers there. My wife, the lovely Mrs. Munson, it was her first show since the food truck wars. So she got to see the crazy mayhem that we've built over the years. And of course, Brother Munson was there that night, along with one of my childhood friends. And of course, everybody from where I work as well, too. So a lot of great new people that have never been to a PPW show, getting to experience that chaos, all the stuff that they hear me talk about at the office on a daily basis. Now they got to see it live. And I'll tell you, even like our new technician, Sufi, that we hired, I saw pictures that he was posted afterwards with Michael Allen, Richard Clark, and he was right into it. We made a super fan out of him in that one evening. So absolutely amazing. Love it. And I can't wait for the next one, Papa Smokes. I love doing Prairie Pro Wrestling.
Oh, me too. And that's the best ones. And there's one thing I like. It's first timers coming out to a live wrestling show because, as you said, you can tell your workmates about what it's like and verbally describe it, but there really is no substitute for seeing pro wrestling live in general, but particularly in our city, in PPW, at the Cosmo Hall, just off Broadway. It's packed. It's energetic. The fans are great. They entertain each other. Plus, they get entertained by these awesome wrestlers, some of them traveling numerous hours and across provincial lines to come and entertain everybody there. Man, it's just a great feeling every time. Love seeing the boys, i.e. the wrestlers, and love seeing the fans. Ring of Horrors, huge, huge success in my mind. Gives me a good feeling. I'll be floating on air for weeks after this, Munson.
Couldn't agree with you more, Papa Smokes. And we're going to be floating on air talking about WPW here in just a moment, but I do want to mention the next week, Ring Respect Radio is going to be on at a very different time for most of y'all because you switch your clocks as we're here in the land of Saskatchewan. That time forgot all about. We don't switch those clocks. And Papa Smokes, a couple of guys like us, we like our Saskatchewan time slot. We like that 7:05 p.m. Saskatchewan time slot. So we're sticking to it. We're sticking to our good old 7 o'clock, and which means that as of next week, Ring Respect Radio, instead of at 9:05 p.m. Eastern time, make sure to set your clocks for 8:05 Eastern time. That is the time that Papa Smokes and I will be found live on Thursday nights moving forward for the next little while. Looking forward to continuing to do this and hopefully being an hour earlier or an hour closer to our Eastern friends. Maybe a lot of them won't be packing her in for bedtime just yet, and they'll have more time for Ring Respect Radio on a Thursday night, Papa Smokes.
For sure, and I hope it's not confusing to our fans in other time zones, but it works out so much better for us guys to do the show at the regular time because Canada is getting cold and dark enough. We start doing this at 8 o'clock our time. It's just it's much more difficult for us. So bear with us. We'll still be coming to you at the same energy and the same dedication, but at a slightly different time. Try and remember everybody. We love everybody that comes in and watches live during the chat or watches during the replay. Anything. We appreciate all of our viewers.
We got a lot of great content coming up here on Ring Respect Radio. We're going to tell you more about that at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that portion of the show. But let's get rolling into it, Papa Smokes, because I don't want to keep the good folks waiting, and I'm sure the ones that are coming over from Winnipeg Pro Wrestling to check out what we're up to are going to want to get to this point into the show so that they can find out what we say about them. But Papa Smokes, I know we got to get you to start this off. This is your hometown especially, so give us a little bit of the background of Winnipeg and where they competed for nuclear heat.
All right, everybody, we're back in Winnipeg for Winnipeg Pro Wrestling. I'm loving covering this company because they've got an awesome product. What I've got is some information about the venue for this particular show. You know, we've covered a couple of their other shows, the summertime ones being at outdoors on Main Street there, but this one being held at the West End Cultural Center, which is exactly where its name would imply, in the West End of Winnipeg. It opened in 1987. It was reworked from an old church into a community arts facility. It specializes in musical performance, but also dance, literary readings, festivals, and any type of cultural events. And we all know pro wrestling is all our favorite cultural event that takes place. And as you noticed watching this show, Munson, it is a lovely venue for professional wrestling. Works out very nicely with the ring right in the middle. It's got a capacity of about roughly 400 people, so lots of room for good size shows there. And I think WPW runs there fairly consistently, especially throughout the winter.
It's a fantastic venue. Looks great as well, too. Leaves the kind of setup that it reminds me of what we do with Prairie Pro Wrestling, but they've got a little bit more space than we do. So, yeah, I really liked it. I thought it looked fantastic. So, talking about the show, we start things off with James Roth giving us a opening promo here, talking about how he took that fall through the table last time by sweet Bobby Shink. I'm going to get that name wrong, I'm sure of it. But right. He got part of the table lodged into his head and just barely missing his eye. And like they're talking legitimately, he has his wife in the ring there. And he's talking about how the last time he got seriously injured, he made her a big promise that if he ever became seriously injured again, that he would call it a day on his time in pro wrestling. So he's got the fans wondering, like, is he coming out here to tell us tonight he's done and he won't be in the triple threat at Battle of the Burt? Or is he coming out for something else? And then, of course, he drops it, says, you know, he had this almost happen, but he's good. He's back. He's ready. And he's not ready to give up either. He's ready to go. He's ready to head there. And, of course, then Chisel Chad Daniels comes out, and we've got Mayhem, and then sweet Bobby Shink comes out, of course, setting all that things up for that big main event at Battle of the Burt for the title. Interesting way to start off the show with this promo. Of course, you want to deliver that. You want to get these guys out there in front of everybody and try to sell the big title match for your big show.
Exactly, and for sure, the crowd and the fans were wondering what the fate of James Roth was after getting put through that table last time. He got stitches in that eye, but ooh, that piece of wood was pretty close to that jelly eyeball there. That's dangerous business. So I thought this opening promo was a good way to start the show. First of all, we had to see how our champion was doing. But if you like a wrestler and if he's the champion of a company, it's a little concerning to see him come out in his street clothes with his wife by his side. You're thinking, oh boy, there's going to be an emotional announcement of some kind here. He had the fans swerved. He had me swerved as well. He cuts a very nice promo. He's quite well spoken, handsome gentleman, very good baby face for this company, the top guy. And I remember the name James Roth from some years back. I want to say 10 years or so ago. He was thought of as the next big up-and-coming wrestler from the Winnipeg area, and he certainly lived up to that, achieving many of his goals in WPW and other companies. And this was just some tension for the crowd, really. What's he going to say? What's he going to do? Is he going to retire? Is he going to relinquish the belt? Is he going to make a challenge? Nobody knew. This was played very nicely by Roth and his wife, talking about the family, talking about the importance of their daughters, talking about his passion for the wrestling business and all that. And of course, thankfully, we get the announcement that Roth is going to continue. He ain't done in the business yet. And then, of course, the heels come out, make life difficult for him, but he gets saved by Bobby Shink. And Bobby Shink, being a good guy, comes out and saves him. But this is also a rival of James Roth. They've had their tensions, to say the least, in the past, and that tension was quite evident in this segment as well. So with looking forward to the main event tonight, which is a tag team match, will Roth and Shink be able to coincide with each other? Will they be able to work as a team against a very tough opponent team in Chad Daniels and Brax?
Yeah, we'll find out very, very soon. We'll be talking about that. Let's get right into the action, though, Pop Smokes. First match that they had on this card was one of our boys here, one of the Sasky boys, the Renegade Sean Moore. This was a triple threat with Kaz Jordan and, of course, Red Hot Sammy Peppers. We've seen Sammy Peppers, kind of the fun babyface of WPW, really getting a bit of a push, getting a lot of victories lately. So very interesting to see how this one would pan out. Again, I'm struggling with triple threats lately. I've seen so many triple threats. Every company does a triple threat, and it's no knock to any single one of these guys in this matchup, especially Sean Moore, who I hands down believe is one of the best unsigned talents in all of indie professional wrestling. I'm a massive fan, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of triple threats lately, but if Sean Moore's in it, I'm going to watch this anyway because Sean Moore is just that damn good, and I like watching him. And of course, we got the wrestling portions of this match were great. They did a good job. I did like that the on the mic beforehand, Michael Allen, Richard Clark at the side of Renegade Sean Moore talking down the fans, talking about how Saskatchewan is superior and the Sasky boys are going to be picking up all the victories tonight. Hello, Mel Ball. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Everybody, just so you know, Mel Ball dropped a new edition of Noah Unleashed earlier today, so go check that out. Now available on the OLE YouTube channel. And also go follow Mel Ball on all social media. But yes, I thought this was about as good as a triple threat's gonna get for me right now, Papa Smokes. My lack of interest in triple threats is doing me no favors when trying to review or talk about any of these things. But of course, having Sean Moore in this matchup made a big difference there for me because again, that's a talent that I'll watch anytime in any matchup because I just think he is that damn good. Yeah, it is what it is. It was, of course, a good way to start in terms of energy for a matchup because these guys brought a lot of energy to this thing, and you always want that high energy when you kick a card off.
Very much so. I couldn't agree with you more about Sean Moore. I'll watch any of his stuff anytime. I've never ceased to be impressed by the talent of this man. And in this match, Moore, Kaz, Jordan, and Sammy Peppers, we've got 2 heels and 1 babyface. So it's an interesting dynamic to start this triple threat match. Another thing, Sammy Peppers as a babyface, they tend to book him towards the lower part of the middle of the card. He's so good there. He's so perfect, and he's so over with this crowd. He's quite an excellent performer. The crowd eats it up too. They started this match with a comedy spot, which was some dancing and some gyrating in the middle of the match. It's not completely to my taste, but to balance it out in a wrestling card, this was just what the doctor ordered for the early parts of the wrestling part of this show. Peppers had the fans laughing, he had them cheering, and of course, once Sean Moore and Kaz Jordan teamed up on him, now we get to see a really skilled babyface fight from underneath throughout all this match. And the heels laid a beating on Peppers, but of course he comes back to win this. The crowd is hot. The crowd has a little surprise right off the bat, and they're laughing. They're all warmed up, and this match functions very, very nicely for the first match of the evening's card.
You bet. Yeah, Sammy Peppers picking up a big victory once again in this one. So yeah, interesting way to start the show. Good way to start the show. But a better way to kick off from there is a match that I really enjoyed on this card and someone who we praised previously, having seen her work in WPW. Bia Moss in action against Johnny Robbie. And the announcer, the guys on commentary saying that Johnny Robbie has worked over in, I believe, CMLL over in Japan, done a lot of work around the globe. First time in a Winnipeg Pro Wrestling ring, taking on Bia Moss, who, again, even more so than last time, I think impressed me in this matchup. In terms of the fighting basics and keeping the crowd the entire time, Bia Moss does not let up. She is relentless when it comes to working the audience throughout the matchup. And many times, calling out to them, so this is your girl, and then beat her down, beat her down, beat her down. It was fantastic. Mel Ball saying, Johnny Robbie, love her. Yeah, and again, Johnny Robbie comes into this, and I personally knew nothing about Johnny Robbie, but Johnny Robbie was an immediate standout for me. I think these two ladies put on one of the better matches of the entire card. This is the second match in, and this was easily one of the better matches in terms of general basics, general idea of the heel getting the heel heat throughout this one and doing a great job of it. The babyface fighting back, getting the comeback and everything. These two ladies worked very excellently together. There's a world of potential in both of these two, and I highly recommend anybody, even if you're not going to check out the whole card, go check this match out.
That's a strong recommendation, Munson. This match also stood out to me on this card as being one of the best ones. Now, this was only 8 or 9 minute match, not
Mhm.
not terribly long, but that is sufficient time to get your point across for a wrestling match. And both of these ladies did a wonderful job, I thought. You and I both liked Bitter Bia Moss. We both liked Bitter Bia Moss last time we reviewed one of these shows. She's got really a great sense of how to work as a wrestler. When I say work, I'm not just talking about ring work. Moss's ring work is quite good as well, but she can feel the crowd. You can see that she feels their mood. She's listening to them, she's absorbing how they're feeling, what they're saying, what they're doing, and she's lashing back at them with that. It's so very, very effective heel work that she does. I find it captivating to watch. Her in-ring work is also very good. But another standout for me in this match is Johnny Robbie. We've seen some love for her in the chat already. And this is someone new to me. I do not know this name, and I have not seen any of her matches before. Very interested in seeing more. She came in as a very, very good babyface, had a nice presentation, cool gear. She looks good. She comes out with a bunch of energy. Not sure if the crowd is familiar with her or not, if she does regular shots at WPW, but they were all over it, and they were all the way in on Johnny Robbie before this match even started. You can't ask for more than that as a babyface because it's a difficult job. You have to make the crowd like you. You have to convince the crowd that you're the good guy and you're the one to root for in this match. Johnny Robbie with no problem with this whatsoever. She interacted with the crowd in a positive manner, and her ring work is quite excellent. Those Hurricane Ranas that she was doing in that match were spectacular. She comes
Mhm.
off the ropes very nicely. She runs the ropes perfectly. I just thought she was excellent as a babyface, and she's one of the new wrestlers that I've seen on this card that I'm interested in pursuing to see more from and to get a little better sense of what all-around wrestler she is. Great first impression.
Yeah, hell yeah. Bitter be a Moss picking up a big victory here. And I like how on commentary they mentioned that with every victory that Bitter be a Moss picks up, it keeps everybody else one step further away from the champion Ava Lawless, is the idea, because we know Bitter be a Moss in the corner of Ava Lawless. So again, a very interesting take there. Melball saying Johnny Robbie just teamed with the great Sequoia on an episode of Monday Magic in the summer. So she's so talented. So again, yeah,
I
being able to
agree.
check her out. Pro Wrestling Noah there was something that Melball covers on Noah Unleashed. So you can find out more about Johnny Robbie there. And Melball would be a great person to hear from in terms of knowledge on somebody who's worked over in Pro Wrestling over Noah or over in Japan. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Loved this matchup. Highly recommend it to anybody.
And
Yep.
oh, I was just going to say there's two more things that were funny in this match and significant. At the end of the match, of course, Moss gets the win. The heel gets the win with the roll up, pulling the trunks, cheating her way to victory. So, of course, the fans a little bit upset that their favorite babyface didn't win. But what do they do at the end of the match for Johnny Robbie? A chant of "Please come back, please come back, please
Mm-hmm.
come back." What more can you ask for? Even when you have to do the job, when you lose the match and the fans want more of you, that's a job well done right there. Then did you see at the very end of this video segment, they showed one of the ringside staff for WPW pulling a huge hunk of hair that had been stuck in the turnbuckle. I think it was must have been Bia Moss's hair because it was the long blonde hair. You hear a fan from the crowd quite audibly yell, "Sell it on eBay!"
That fan might be a little
Uh,
behind the times. I don't know how well eBay's operating these days, but very, very cool. Very cool indeed. I loved it. From there, though, Papa Smokes, we got another promo on this card. We got the legendary Robbie Royce. So lots of Robbie names on this particular card. Robbie Royce coming out with a bit of a promo, and he ends up getting in a fight while he's at it too. But he also announces that he's going to be returning the WPW. He is going to be back at Battle of the Burt and entering the Battle Royal there as well too. Very interesting segment here.
Robbie Royce is a Canadian wrestling legend, particularly out here in the West. He's been known throughout Winnipeg and throughout the Prairie provinces, all the way out to Vancouver, BC. He's a well-known wrestler. He's from Toronto. He's called the Pissed Off Pitbull, and he's held titles and tag team titles all over Canada, probably some in the U.S. as well. He's been wrestling since 1991, so the term veteran or graybeard is perfect for Robbie Royce. Got a pretty fine promo here too, with a little bit of fire and a little bit of a tear in his eye, talking about the past, talking about some of his accomplishments, but ultimately with the triumphant revelation that he is going to return. And another thing about Robbie Royce is that he has a connection with us, Munson. He used to be in a tag team with our old friend, Mr. Beefy Goodness, Vance Nevada.
Yes, sir, he did. And you can learn more about him, too, in Vance Nevada's book, Uncontrolled Chaos, as well. So, yes, very interesting. Curious to see how he does in the Battle Royal. But, yes, we got a lot of matches to talk about, so we're not gonna sit too heavy on the promo side here tonight. Next up, the WPW Tag Team Champions are on the line. New Money defending against Big Merv and Mo Jabari. We saw that kind of was set up at the last program there. We had a very, very interesting matchup here. Papa Spokes, the new champions, New Money, definitely doing up the heel side of things very, very well throughout this one. And of course, you got a lot of accomplished ability within this ring. It made for a solid tag team matchup on this card.
Very much so. And this was one of the longer segments on the show. The match being roughly 15 minutes after all the stalling at the beginning by New Money, but effective heel work. I really like the heat that New Money brings to WPW and the crowd in this venue. Bryce Bentley and Scott Ripley really just drip with that entitled douchebag energy that they bring to the ring. They're better than everybody else. They're arrogant. They're complete and utter jerks and slimy. What do you got?
They also hang out at the greatest Winnipeg bar, Bougie on Main, as well too, which tends to get quite a backlash from the people in this audience.
Which is quite hilarious. And in all reality, I'm not sure those guys would be safe setting foot in there, but a very good joke also. But I like New Money for my thoughts. They get probably almost the most heat as anybody does in this company, and it's for good reason that they bring the slime to all their matches.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoy New Money. I'm glad in the end they retained. This was a solid title defense for them because they've only just won these belts. This is really their first title defense, and if you're gonna go and have them go in there, you got to get a couple of great professionals in there with them that can put on a good match, and that's what we got. Great title defense, and New Money looking strong as the tag team champions.
That's right. And then New Money hitting a promo after the match, which got interrupted by a pre-taped promo from the Good Brothers, also former members of Bullet Club, former WWE and every other company in the world. Guys that have names that are going to be appearing in WPW, challenging New Money for the Tag Team Championships at Rumble at the Burt Show. That's an exciting announcement, and you could tell that the fans were all the way on board for that one.
Yeah, huge announcement. They really don't hold back on who they try to bring in when it comes to the Battle of the Burt. I can't wait. There's definitely some names going to be there, and yes, Machine Gun Carl Anderson and. I always want to call him Doc Gallows all the time, but yes, the Good Brothers themselves are going to be in action against New Money for the belts. I mean, what a great matchup they got lined up there for that card. That's going to be awesome.
That's a big one, and WPW opening up the purse strings for their big show. This is how it's done in the wrestling business. The fans will appreciate it. You and I appreciate it, and we get to see some of WPW's talent get to go against some of the big boys, some of the people that have been in the big companies and that's got to be a great experience for those young wrestlers, and very much so a learning experience as well.
100% is Melball saying Festus,
Yeah.
the green base there. But yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. I'm looking forward to watching that one once it releases on their YouTube channel. Up next on this card, we got the Canadian Hercules Tyler Colton taking on our Prairie Pro Wrestling heavyweight champion Michael Allen Richard Clark. And yes, Clark, of course, part of the Regina Wrecking Crew, not loved over in the Winnipeg side like he is here in Saskatchewan. Coming out and just once again trashing the fans. And this time, Sean Moore getting on the microphone and trashing the fans. But better yet was when Clark gets on the mic here and he starts telling Tyler Colton, we're not too far from each other. We're kind of the same. We're both body guys. He goes, although you're a, what is the type of bodybuilding that he does? He's power lifter. Yeah. He goes, the most disrespected part of being a body guy ever is being a power lifter. It started going that direction. I was like, God damn. I'm like, this is he's warming it up, trying to make it seem like they're two in the same, and then he just starts trashing them and getting that heat on him that way. Well done in that sense. I thought it was great mic work by Michael Allen on this one, stepping into this thing. And of course, you got two big boys here, right? Like, again, two different types of bodies, but yet two very tough boys in this matchup. But oh my God, did Tyler Colton take the fight to Michael Allen in this thing? And you can tell with every single bump, he was hitting down that power as much as possible. Every single time he had Michael Allen, he's like, you know what? I'm going to show you what a power lifter can do, MFer. And he's smacking him down all over that ring throughout this matchup.
Yeah, and as far as match times go, this one did not take long. Of course, there were some long entrances and some promos cut before the match, but once they got in the ring, it did not take long. And you and I have seen and called a million of Michael Allen Richard Clark's matches. The guy's physically impressive. You can't take that away from him. He looks great. He's 6'3", 225 pounds, whatever he is. He's got the body of a Greek Adonis. But when you put him in there next to the Canadian Hercules, Tyler Colton, there is a serious difference between in massive beef there. I mean, Colton is just so big now. And we've also called his matches in the past. He's undergone quite a transformation in that 7 or 8 years. Colton looks better than he ever has. He's 310 pounds. He's a giant of a man. His muscles are not for show. They're for go. And we've seen some of the feats of strength he's done, putting a chain around his neck and pulling a semi-truck trailer that's in neutral, bending iron bars and all the rest of it. His muscles are completely for strength. And he just threw Clark around like a rag doll. It was quite impressive to see, especially with that modified power bomb at the end. He just picked Clark up like he was a small child and broke him in half in the middle of the ring. So this match made to forward Tyler Colton's momentum in the company. He's been a top guy for a long time. This match happening in the middle of the card, but Tyler Colton will be back up in that main event scene as soon as he can force his way into a spot there. James Roth and the other people at the top, the champions in this company, better watch out, because Tyler Colton showed that he's an unstoppable brute in this match, and he's going to be looking for more in the near future. You can bet on that.
You bet he will. Up next on the card, we had the WPW 92.1 city title match. Tyson Moore, defending against Gabriel Fuerza. And I thought this was pretty good. I like this matchup. Papa spoke, said there's a lot of great energy. Gabriel Fuerza stood out throughout this thing, often at times making me believe, are they going to flop the title to somebody else here so soon and before their big show as well too? I actually, they had me tricked a few times. I thought the championship was going to change hands, in fact, but great job between these two guys to put on the match that they did, and another great title defense by ATM himself. And we'll talk about the announcement afterwards, but what are your thoughts on this particular match between these gentlemen?
Oh, I thought it was quite a good match. And for their kind of secondary championship, the City FM championship. We've seen Anderson Tyson Moore a number of times in the past. We've called one or two of his matches in the past. We've seen him come along quite a long way. He was good back when we saw him before the PPW days in the 20 teens, but he's come a long way now. And as a heel, he's quite effective. He's got part of a little faction there. He's got his buddy in his corner with him. He's very, very effective. Where Gabriel Fuerza comes in, man, the kid can sell. Man, did he do a good job of selling, building that heat. Little hope spot. No, he's back on his back again. Coming up, is there another hope spot? Yes. Is he going to take over on offense? No, he's still selling. Did a great job in this match. Great job of putting over ATM and the City FM Championship looking still sturdy around the waist of ATM. But Fuerza, what a good job. And he's kind of possibly making himself a name in this company as a babyface because he's got the ring psychology all down pat, selling like a real champ.
You bet. And of course, we one of the guys that was on commentary actually represents the radio station 92.1 City FM there, and he stands up afterwards and he said that the title was not created for people like Anderson Tyson Moore, in terms of his, what he does, his cheating and all this kind of stuff. And so, of course, because their name is all over that belt, he was able to call the shot for Battle of the Burt and the opponent that's going to happen. And it's going to happen on a ladder match. Red Hot Sammy Peppers is getting another opportunity after being cheated out the last time of the belt. This time in a ladder match is going to be very, very interesting. And again, a great way. They're doing a great job throughout this stuff, building for that show. That's the key element here, is that they're making a strong build for their big show coming up as well, too. And another big announcement there for the card.
And that's how it's done with the go-home show beforehand. You got to tell the fans what's going on currently in your company and what's going to be going on for the big show of the year. So we had the strong feeling that all these angles were going to get figured out for the big match and Rumble at the Burt. So this, another one, Sammy Peppers going to move maybe from that opening slot on each card to now where their mid-level championship is, the middle of the card, the City FM championship. He's going to go up against Anderson Tyson Moore. And I look forward to this because I think Peppers is a very, very good babyface. Moore just as good at the heel spot. So if these two get a nice match set up and a nice match set out with that belt on the line, we could have a real good, kind of like a dark horse match that could be one of the top matches at Rumble in the Burt, which is going to be a stacked card anyway. This will be one of the good ones. Bringing the ladders in, too, for a little bit of extra fun.
Looking forward to watching that one. Up next on this card, this is going to be an odd one to talk about, Pop Smokes, because I feel like we're back to front from PPW here. Two guys that have graced PPW many times and fought each other in PPW many times. It's Cannonball Kelly, now part of the Church of the Jacked Jesus. Cannonball Kelly heel style here in WPW, taking on the Disco Daddy babyface Levi Knight. Again, something we're not used to seeing. The fans in Winnipeg absolutely love Levi Knight, but they detest Cannonball Kelly. And this was a very good matchup between two guys we know each other very, very well. We know, put in the work. Cannonball Kelly, an absolute legend of Western Canadian professional wrestling. Levi Knight, who has put in many hours across the globe, harnessing his skills, his ability. Every time we see him, he's coming up with new things, perfecting what he does. He's studying the craft, and he's doing a great job. But he was in big against somebody who knows how to get the job done, and Cannonball Kelly knew how to get the job done on this very night.
Very much so, and I echo your sentiment that it's unusual, or it's a little bit weird for you and I to call this match because we know these two wrestlers very well, but in Winnipeg, it's a little bit different. Levi Knight is popular with the fans. He is not popular in Saskatoon, but he's popular there. They like his music. They like his outfit. They even like his gyrating dancing in the middle of the ring, too. So Levi Knight totally over with the WPW crowd. Now Cannonball Kelly comes out. We saw what happened at the last show. He turned on Levi Knight, joined the Church of the Jacked Jesus, much to the dismay of the fans. Cannonball comes out for his first match with this faction, does not come out with the members of the faction, but as a member of the faction. You know, Munson, even Cannonball is the heel. You can't deny his charisma. He comes out and people still want to like him because he looks cool. He's got the funny little walk that he does on the way to the ring. People want to get behind Cannonball Kelly, but not with the people he's aligning himself with at this time. So firmly in the heel spot in this match, not where we're used to seeing him, but nonetheless effective in this match, and some very interesting chants coming from the crowd during this match. Ones that probably shouldn't be repeated on a family friendly show like ours is, but some of those signs in the crowd too. Boy, they don't like the Jack Jesus and his stooges.
No, they don't. And of course, the distraction that got Cannonball the win came about when all of a sudden the lights went out, and all of a sudden they start that opening bit of the classic Styx song Renegade, which is the theme music of the Jack Jesus and everything. So Disco Daddy gets distracted, expecting Jack Jesus to come out, and Cannonball Kelly takes advantage, picks up the big win. And of course, I love that song, so it's hard for me to really hate the Jack Jesus when he comes out to such a cool song. I'm a bit of a Styx fan there, Papa Smokes.
Oh, very much so, and that's some good 70s rock there too. And everybody likes the song, but they don't want to see who comes out to it. He didn't come out, but the distraction was made, and Levi Knight eats a loss, and Cannonball Kelly cements himself further in the Church of the Jack Jesus. So we're going to see what goes on. Was there an announcement about either of those wrestlers coming to Rumble at the Bird?
Not that I heard of, no. But I mean,
don't
again,
think so either.
You'd expect the whole faction, the Church of the Jack Jesus, to be involved in the Battle Royal anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if Cannonball Kelly is at least involved there. But that's yet to be seen. And we still got two more matches to talk about here, Papa Smokes. Two very big matches. In fact, the next one is all three of the gentlemen in that triple threat for the title at Battle on the Bird, along with the sidekick in the situation. It's Braxton Chad Daniels taking on James Roth, the champion, and Sweet Bobby Shink. And of course, Bobby Shink, as he's coming down to ringside, he's got the syrup. He's going around handing out syrup shots to everybody at ringside. And then I liked the part where he had those two kids down at ringside that had those fancy glass bottles that are shaped like the Canadian maple leaf or whatever, and they're drinking from those ones at first, and the commentary's going nuts. You know how much those bottles cost? Those things have to be like $18 a pop or whatever. I was chuckling. I thought that was funny as hell. I thought it was great on commentary. And of course, this match, perfect placement on the card, great talents involved. Again, you want to build that matchup as being a big deal, and here's a perfect opportunity. Here you've got the real a-hole in the situation, Chisel Chad Daniels and his sidekick Brax, that have caused this interference, this insertion into this matchup that was originally supposed to be between James Roth and Bobby Shink only. And now they've inserted their position into this whole situation. And then you got these two guys that have been at odds. They've had a battle between each other before. They've been in this situation before. Their focus was solely on each other, and now they have to coincide here. And we saw throughout this matchup that James Roth reluctant to tag in Bobby Shink, even though he had been beaten down many times throughout this thing, allowing Chisel Chad Daniels and Brax to control the match, to cut off the ring, to continue to get that heat until he finally had to say F it and go with what he knows, and that is to get the fresh man in there to try to pick up the victory despite what might be going down for the belt at the Battle of the Bird.
Yeah, and the main storyline for this match, and the main thing to remember is this tenuous team of Sweet Bobby Shink and James Roth, because there's no way that these two want to be tag teaming together at this time. They are rivals for the WPW Heavyweight Championship. Roth doesn't want a team with Shink and vice versa. They don't want a team. They want a match with each other. Shink has been the champion before, wants that belt back, and he wants James Roth in the ring in a bad way. But on this show, he's got him in the ring, but they're on the same team. So will they be able to coexist in this match? And we saw that it was not going to be a good situation for this tag team. They were in tough against Chad Daniels and Brax, who were very impressive, who already have a cohesive team, who already hang out together and know what they're going to do in this match. So this is another match that will set up the tension and set up some of the matches for Rumble at the Burt. It is going to be Roth versus Chad Daniels, but Bobby Shink not satisfied. He wants that match. He figures he should be the #1 contender. So there's that tension between these two. And what's going to happen? We saw what happened tonight. The team broke down. The team dissolved. They can't cooperate as a team in this. They're too strong of rivals. So what will happen at Rumble at the Burt, and will Sweet Bobby Shink insert himself in some way in this match in his attempt to get at James Roth?
Exactly. Yeah, we saw that breakdown. We saw that what it's leading up to, a no contest in this particular matchup. And yeah, a great build at the same time, creating that tension for the belt. And again, the focus is solely on Bobby Shink and James Roth, but Chisel Chad Daniels becomes that X factor. And I know we've talked about not being big on the triple threats lately, but there's a little bit more curiosity and interest here because Chisel Chad Daniels does become that X factor. He's inserted himself into what was supposed to be a one-on-one matchup. He's got the two baby faces, essentially, the two guys that want to be at the top of the mountain in WPW, really at each other. So Chisel Chad Daniels, an opportunist, in my opinion, could be looking to let these two wear each other down to maybe find his moment at Battle on the Burt and steal away the show and become the new champion. Anything is very possible here.
Very much so. And all the momentum is in the corner of Chad Daniels right now because he set this up perfectly. He's got the tension between Shink and Roth, not to mention that he also has Brax in his corner, who continues to impress me as a big, scary heel in this company, somebody that's got a lot of muscle and a lot of firepower. Will he be at ringside for the triple threat at Rumble at the Burt? That could be the turning point right there, too.
It really could. And I noticed we're getting close to the top of the hour, so we got one more to talk about. And then before we start saying our farewells, Papa Smokes, it's time for that main event of the evening. This match scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
And it is for the WPW Women's title. The champion, Ava Lawless, who's been rocking that belt for quite some time now, taking on many opponents, going to be defending against somebody who has been a thorn on her side before in the form of Jody Threat. These two know each other incredibly well, have met inside this ring many times before, especially in WPW. Jody Threat, actually, I believe they said on commentary, the longest reigning WPW Women's Champion in history before, too. So an opportunity for Jody Threat to get the championship back, or an opportunity for Ava Lawless to continue this run. And man, the ladies didn't disappoint here, Papa Smokes. You can tell these two know each other extremely well. They tore the house down. It was the right move to have them in the main event big time. This was awesome. This, again, when I talk about the best matches on this card, there's some great standouts, and the two ladies matches easily are probably two of the best matches on this entire card. This was a fantastic main event between two great professionals. And again, in the end, Jody Threat, surprisingly, in the build-up to Battle on the Burt, gets the victory and becomes the new champion as well, too. What a matchup.
Very much so. And I love that they put the ladies match on last. It shows that they're making a commitment to their women wrestlers and giving them that opportunity to close the show on the big go-home show before their biggest card of the year at Rumble at the Burt. So Threat and Lawless being given the keys to the car basically here. You guys got the main event. It's going to be for the title. Give us a show and show us what you got. And as he said, they've battled up and down this country and probably in a couple other countries too. But Jody Threat's been a big baby face and a strong competitor in women's wrestling in Winnipeg. She has held that title before. She comes to the ring with just that wild attitude, man. She's drinking beer with the fans. She's banging her head. She's swinging her hair all over the place. She's awesome, and she gets the crowd going. Ava Lawless playing herself, the Hellion, playing it that heel role so perfectly, and with Bia Moss by her side, she's got the fans booing. Again, they're in the position. They know that Ava Lawless is so talented. They want to like her in a way, but she's obnoxious, and she has no time and no care for the Winnipeg fans, nor does Bia Moss. So we've got this contradiction in two different kinds of wrestlers here, and they put on an awesome match. Threat coming out super hot, wrestling like a lunatic, controls the first 4 minutes, and you're thinking, wow, the champion Lawless is really on her heels at the beginning of this match. What's going to happen? And this wasn't a tremendously long match, an 11-minute match or something like that. So Threat burning her way through the first 4 minutes or so until Bia Moss tries to interfere with the chair. And what happens? The music hits. Who comes out for the save but the matriarch, who had been screwed over by Lawless on the last show? Well, karma's a bitch, and the karma comes around to affect you if you step on it. And out comes the matriarch just to foil the heel's plan, take that chair away from Bia Moss, and Threat hits the super spear, running the ropes extremely fast, and a nice finishing move to get the 1, 2, 3. I was surprised. You could see that the live crowd was surprised seeing a title change in the go-home show before the big show of the year. WPW just kind of making a call there. Let's do it. Let's surprise the fans, and let's really shake it up before Rumble at the Burt. Anyone that thought they could maybe predict what was going to happen with that ladies' championship for Rumble at the Burt had to rethink everything because they got a new champion in Winnipeg.
Yeah, and it leads up to what the title match is at Rumble on the Burt, which is available on YouTube. We are going to wait until the entire show has been released to go and watch it. But they did bring in a name. It's not always going to be everybody's favorite name that they brought in, but they sure brought in a name to take on Jody Threat at WPW for the belt there. Papa Smokes, we are going to be watching at that show the women's title match on the line as Jody Threat defends against Mercedes Moné, who came in for that title shot at Winnipeg Pro Wrestling. And say what you will, again, yeah, we can make arguments one way or another with regards to Mercedes Moné's star power in the bigger companies, but when it comes to coming to somewhere like Winnipeg Pro Wrestling or some of these areas, Mercedes Moné's name holds impact. It holds enough impact that a company like that is going to get a lot of views on their channel. They're going to get a lot of attention to the show. So, I mean, curious to see how it pans out. We'll find out when we watch the entire show there. But we are running late, so we will call it a day. Winnipeg Pro Wrestling, Nuclear Heat, fantastic. Check them out on YouTube. Go subscribe to their channel and make sure to check out Battle of the Burt as it becomes available as well, too. But that's going to be it on our time today, Papa Smokes. I will say that again next week, Ring Respect Radio coming at you at 8:05 Eastern Time as the times change. We are continuing on to SK time, so 8:05 is when you're going to get your fill of Ring Respect. We got a lot coming up. I'm pretty sure by next week we will be doing SPW's Halloween Haunting, and then after that we will carry in to the trip through the territories. I know Brett Martinez has been dying to see. So we will discuss that in just a second here, Papa Smokes, about which one we're going to cover and be prepared to do Halloween Haunting as well. But in the meantime and in between time, why don't you tell the good folks where they can find you and what you got coming up as you cost me money with that beautiful, beautiful ticker.
I'll always be costing the money. Abe Angler, thanks for watching again.
Thank you.
Papa Smokes can always be found on this channel at this time on Ring Respect Radio. Can't wait to do trip through the territories and the SPW review coming up. Other than that, I can be found on Elon Musk's free speech wonderland known as X. I am at smokes_papa. Also on Twitch at papa_smokes_.
Awesome. And as for myself, Bobby Munson, down below, you can find me on all social media, X, Instagram, Threads, Twitch, and Blue Sky as well, too. Check me out on there. If you want to find more of my content here on the channel, you can do so. I'm going to be back this weekend on Sunday with the guys with your favorite Sunday sports show. It is Point of View, where we're going to be talking all about our predictions, our fantasy football league. We're going to be talking about the Blue Jays, Papa Smokes, because they have a chance to secure the World Series tomorrow night. So we're going to be talking all about that. Yes, you're rocking the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as we're heading in to the Grey Cup playoffs here very soon. Your Blue Bombers earning a spot in the East Division, I believe, this time around.
That's correct. For the first time crossing over into the East. It ain't going to be an easy mountain to climb, Munson, but we're going to try and climb it. We've been to the last 5 Grey Cups in a row. This year's is in Winnipeg. We got to make it for that one.
Could you imagine we could have a Saskatchewan-Winnipeg final by the time it's all said and done there at the Grey Cup? That would prove very, very interesting considering how interesting those matches are between the Riders and the Bombers. But more on that this Sunday, of course, on Point of View. Join myself and the gentleman for that one. And we are found on OLE Podcast as well. We be found across all social media as well as YouTube and Twitch. We appreciate you giving us a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave it a comment if you're watching this on replay, like many of our friends like the Divine Light, James Shaw, who came into the comment section just recently, said that he wasn't able to catch the show live. But that's okay, James. A champ like you doesn't always have time for live. That's why we got you on replay, brother, just like all of you. Thank you all for tuning in to Ring Respect Radio, and we'll see you next week.